the first 5 crucial steps to achieve your goal. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I want to welcome you. My name is Wei-Jen, and I help people to attract their desired lifestyle and love by expanding awareness, self-love, and energy vibration. So this topic, I have experienced myself quite a while, and a part of it I is something that I learned from Tony Robbins. If you've known him, he is this motivation speaker and then also business coach, etc. And I want to share with you guys how I implemented those 5 crucial steps into my life, whether it's personal or professional life. And I want to share with you guys, some of the other tips that I added that I found that works for me. So if you find that this, something that is works for you and you like it, take it. And if you don't, just leave it as it is. Okay, so the first one, I think personally it works for me very well, is physically write down what are the short-term and the long-term goals that I want to achieve. And this can be something about my health or my professional, my career, my personal relationship with others. There is always a short-term or long-term goal that I desire to achieve, right? So I highly encourage and invite you guys to physically write down. And if you ask when will be the best time to write down those things or to journal those goals, right? What I found that works for me the best is that during the morning when I just wake up and I'm still half asleep, half awake, or even before I go to bed, I will write down, the things that I want to achieve. And this can be something that I want to achieve the next day or this week. It doesn't have to be, the next 10 years, that kind of long-term goal. But the most important thing is to physically write down, what do you want? So that is the first question. And then the second question is you get to ask and even write down, that will be even better. Write down about why do you want to achieve that goal, right? Because if you watch my previous video, I talk about the intention and then the motivation underneath that desire. What makes you want to achieve that goal? If your intention is, for example, another part of my career is being a performer in front of the camera. So, some people that would say that, oh, I'm an actress, and I'm not going to deny that. But when some people they hear me that I am an actress and I work in the film industry, right? The first question I sometimes get to ask is, so you want to be a Hollywood A-list movie star? And when I hear people they ask me that question, right, I would have a little smile because I think that moment usually it tells me that my intuition tells me that that is their projection, right? Their impression that about their intention that project on me, right? So I would give a little smile and then I would say something else, my true intention and motivation, right, is to bring my imagination to share with the world, right? And then also to be able to serve in the community, helping others to be seen, to be heard. So that is actually my intention and the motivation why I wanted to be an actress. Now, there is also different kinds of motivation and intention, and I highly recommend you to watch my previous video. I talk about different kinds of motivation and intention underneath our desire, even our action or the decision that we make, right, can determine our can determine how long we can sustain our action and our desire. So let's say, I've seen a lot of people, their intention of being a performer or actor is to become famous or to become wealthy, right? Usually that doesn't, what I see from my experience is that I don't see people with that kind of intention they can sustain their career for in a long run. And that is just my simply observation. So find out your intention and also your motivation underneath your desire. Why do you want to get that certain goal, right? Is it coming from the love or duty or money, wealth or fame, right? Or reputation or social status? Is it coming from the fear because, you know, you were poor before and you've experienced and then felt that feeling of being poor, right? Not being able to afford some certain things that you wanted to have, right? So those are the intention and the motivation that drives you to want to achieve some certain things. So it's very important to clarify with yourself why the reason you want to get that goal. So in the long run, you don't get lost or distracted. And instead, knowing why you want to achieve your goal will actually help you to stay focused. All right. And then the last question, I invite you to write it down and ask yourself is that what other qualities that may look like or require you to be that person in order to achieve your goal, right? So the other example that I can share with you is um, I'm a coach and I also coach students for Chinese Mandarin language. And I also coach people, just generally for life or relationship, right? And there's got to be some skills that as a coach that requires me to do my job. So one of the noticeable skill that as a coach that I need to have is to have attentive ears and to be able to really listen to my students or my clients when the things that they're sharing things with me, right? And then also acknowledge, value their feelings, their desire, and then also their thought, their point of view. It may not be true, but it's true to them, right? So I need to be able to listen to them and not giving, any advice while they're sharing their things with me. So that is the quality that I'm talking about that as a coach, I need to have, right? And then I'm pretty sure there are so many other qualities as a coach, as an actress, or, whatever the job position that you're currently, doing or your desirable job position that you want to do or the person you want to be, right, requires some specific certain qualities that you might want to think about it. So that is the next question that I invite you to write down. What are the qualities, right? And this does not necessarily mean that you need to have some certificates, right? Some positions they may, for example, like being a lawyer, being a doctor, those position that requires certificate and education and experience, no doubt. But at the same time there are lots of jobs or your desirable career lifestyle or even just being a new you. If we talk about not if we're not talking about job, right, or career, just being this new version of you, there's got to be some qualities that require you to pay more attention so you can be that new you. And it all starts with awareness, right? So that is something that I invite you to write down. Now, also there are also some people they think that entertainment industry, film industry is a very competitive industry, which in some level I don't disagree. Yet at the same time, this is how the meaning that I give myself as an artist, as an actress, that to be at this service, to be a part of this industry is that each individual is unique, right? So that is a quality that I chose to give myself as an actress, right? There is nobody can replace me. Maybe there are some other, people, for the, casting director or production company. They can find, you know, people who are similar than me, right? An actress who is similar than me, but is that exactly 100% and 10 exactly the same as me? The way that I talk, the way that I carry myself, my intonation, my speech, my behavior, right? My personality, is that exactly the same? I don't think so. So that is the mindset, the quality, the meaning that I gave myself. Now think about it. If I constantly think that, yeah, my industry is so competitive, I gotta do XYZ, get it done, and then not only get it done, but it also get it done in a short amount of time, right? So people can see the result. Guess how long I can be exist in this industry? you know I don't think I can run in this industry for that long, because at some point my mind and my body is going to burn out very soon, right? So carefully choose the meaning and then also the quality, um, for the things that you want to achieve, the person you want to be, right? Because different meaning can give you different energy, different feelings and thoughts that creates completely different experience. Okay, the second step is to take massive actions. And this is actually coming from Tony Robbins, right? Or, I also have a different perspective. Let's say if you only have very limited choices to take the action, or you have a lot of choice to take the action, but you have limited maybe budget or maybe limited time, right? Because you're juggling between multiple jobs, right? You only have 24/7 a day, 24 hours a day, right? And then you juggle between different jobs. The time, the hours is just that much for you to choose, to take the action. But you have a lot of options, right? Then I would suggest you to pick a few potential choices to take the actions that that you feel intuitively, that you feel this might be a potential actions that will work towards to your desirable goal, right? Now if you have flexible budget or time or schedule or some other stuff, right, that you have more flexibility to take massive actions, yes, feel free to do that as well. Because the second step during this phase is actually guiding us to invest the action and then the choice that we make, and then not only invest but also with completely 100% commitment, right? So if you pick a few potential options to take the action, right, then be committed. And then also knowing this is part of your investment. You're investing your time, your energy, and maybe your money as well. So be committed and don't think about the outcome. Just focusing on the things that you are about to invest. Now, I also want to mention that during the first and the second steps, right? Don't think about how can you achieve your goal, especially that goal that makes you feel that is so massive, so giant, so huge, like a mountain. How can you climb to the top of the mountain, right? Don't think about how, because what happened is that many times if you think about how to do it, and especially how to do it right, right? That's usually many times it's going to set up, to fail, because you're focusing on how to do it right, right? Or how to start. No, but when you're in a second stage of this, achieving your goals, right? You will actually gradually find out how, as you move to the next step, right? So the second step is test with your commitment, right? And of course, you gotta give it some time. Scientists or researchers, right? When they are doing studies or when they are experimenting, a new medicine or developing a new technology, right? These are the things that takes time. And then that is the same thing for relationships, right? Relationship takes time to build trust, to build intimacy, right? To build a bond that is solid. So you want to give a certain amount of time to invest and, commit, right? Now, moving on to the third stage. So the third step, right, is to test. So once you make massive actions or you pick a few potential choices to take the action with 100% commitment, right? And also you gave it some time to let it grow, right? To plant a seed and then let it grow, right? Now, when it's time, you want to test to see if the things that you invest with your 100% commitment is starting to make the progress, right? And this also includes relationship as well, not just your career, right? So that's why my channel is about, to attract your desirable lifestyle and love, right? So this can be anything. This can be your job, your career, your relationship, your health, right? All these things, it takes time, but you have to be very intentionally knowing what are you investing, right? And then give it some time. And then when it's time, you want to test, pay closer attention to see how much progress, the things that you have been investing has making a progress. So that is something that you want to, invest and test. And then this is something that I learned from one of the popular dating coach. His name is Matthew Hussey. He talks about in the relationship, right? We have to invest and then test, right? So I just, use that, implement that into my career as well and my desirable lifestyle as well, right? Because wealth, you cannot just, turn it to be so wealthy overnight unless you win the lottery, right? A lot of things it takes time to develop, to cultivate, right? So you want to test. Okay, now once you test, you are probably going to, decide some of the things that you have been investing, you want to continue to invest. And some of the investment that you committed, right, may not see any result, right? So for those, result that you didn't see any process, any progress that has been moving forward, you want to stop investing, right? And at that stage, you can stop investing and then pick other new potential choice or the new actions to take, right? And so you go back to step two, and then after you spend some time, then you move forward to step three, which is test, right? So you wanna, uh, you wanna coming from and back between step two and step three, right? To find a new choices that works for you, right? And so on the step three, then you test again, see if there is any rewards or there is any progress that your investment has been um, making, right? Now, okay, so moving on to step four. So once you discover and you find out some of the investment, some of the actions or potential choices will bring you some progress that you have been investing, right? You want to, of course, celebrate. So that is called what I call a win, right? That is on step four. It's to celebrate your wins. And this doesn't have to be always a big, giant, huge win, right? This can be a small win, right? For example, I used to be so afraid making like content, like creating content like this, right? Because a lot of it, I think, it requires a lot of courage and then also improv and also information and then knowledge that I know. So I was so afraid, making a YouTube video. But now, when I make a new YouTube video, I will celebrate that. And this celebration, can look like, buying myself a small cupcake, treat myself. And sometimes I don't do anything, just give myself half hour, break. That can be a way to celebrate my win. Or sometimes in the end of the day, I will make my own gratitude list and share with my friends. That is another way that I celebrate my win, right? So whatever that works for you, that help your body, your mind, your intellect, your emotional self, your wisdom, your inner child, that help them to feel that they deserve this reward, right? And it that makes them feel excited, right? That makes them feel encouraged. You want to do that. Also, at the same time, I want to share with you, I want to tell you guys also, don't dismiss those investment that didn't bring you any rewards back or didn't give you a positive feedback, right? Because in this journey, when you are achieving your goal, when you're building up your project, right? There is gonna be a lot of failing. And I remember before I started my spiritual awakening journey and the personal transformation journey, I tend to dismiss the things that I fail. And when I felt on some things, I instantly, automatically, I would tell myself that I'm such a failure and I am no good and I'm not good enough and I will never be good enough, right? And that just go down to this rabbit hole on and on, get and then it got me to become so depressed. So this new me I learned, which is celebrate my failing as well, because what I see today on the things that I felt, right, during the process in my experience, is that even I felt something, maybe a relationship that I felt this time, or this, or a new YouTube video that I felt recording that. For whatever the reason that I felt, right, there is always something for me to learn. And that is something that I want you guys to focus on, that is to not dismiss that failing experience, but look into what are the lessons did you learn, right? And then celebrate that lessons that you learn. So that is something that not only you learn and you grow, and you can also potentially avoid the future similar situation or similar outcome, right? Because when you really learn and you really implement it and then grow, right? Not only that will prevent you to have a similar mistake happen. But also very important, that's how you can also maintain your high energy vibration, right? So you want to focus on the things that you learn, and then the things that you're so grateful for it. Maybe it's something that you also discover yourself, a new part of yourself from this, failing experience. Okay, now the last step, which is also very crucial, very important, is to stay consistency. Many times in the past when I achieved some certain things, right? Or I didn't achieve the certain things, but I am making the progress, right? Um, and I didn't stay consistency. So then after some time, because I didn't stay consistency, I fell back to step one. I fell back to where I was in the very beginning of achieving my goal. So consistency is also very crucial in order to achieve your goal in a long run, in the long term. So that is something that I want to share with you guys. I hope you find this video is very insightful for you. If you find this video is helpful, please like my video and share this video with others, and even leave the comment and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for spending your time and energy watching my video. And I want to wish you have a fabulous day. Namaste.